Yeah, man. And that's when the cream helped the itch go away.
Oh, shit. Man, you always
You get me all the time, Dre.
That was
Sorry.
Good. That was good.
I was supposed to turn the light on this time, but I didn't.
Bro,
He faked the countdown on him.
Damn it. I always fall for it.
What's good, y'all?
Hey, yo, you know what it is. And Dre cut my mic, asshole.
I didn't cut your mic.
Yeah, there it is. Oh, there it is. Oh, my
it's
headphones. Whatever. Headphones, mic. I don't
Headphones
care.
good? Are you good?
I'm good.
You're good now.
It
Thank
went
you,
off
sir.
real quick, too, for me, but now it's good.
All right,
Yeah,
cool.
sounds good.
Yeah.
It's that time again, everybody. It's Wednesday. It's 7 o'clock. It's the Pack and Ganja Show.
What's good, y'all?
I am Packy Chan.
I am Paragon, a.k.a. Paraganja.
DJ B-side. What's up?
Who are you,
Who's
sir?
choking over there?
I'm Dre Day. Fucking Dre Day running the show.
And we got our special guest, a very old school homie of mine, brother of mine that I go way back with, my man, Expose One. What's good, brother?
Yo, how's it going, man?
I died just a little bit right now.
Damn. Pass that
Ooh,
shit.
shit. Pass that shit. That shit always reminds me of that movie. That's why you said it?
Yep.
All right.
The sad movie.
That's the natural medicine.
It's a sad movie. yes, y'all. So we got Exposed. I was going to say X-Pause again, bro. Exposed.
I get that a lot. Don't trip.
Exposed.
Or X.
X. He represents AGOP, right?
Yeah.
What
QMX.
QMX.
Quantum Mechanics.
Quantum
Yeah,
Mechanics.
that's old school homies
old
right
school.
there.
Farm. What was
Farm
it?
life.
Farm
Farm
Life.
Life.
Farm life.
And any other ones?
And, the Warriors Jiu-Jitsu.
Warriors Jiu-Jitsu.
Yeah, I know. When I be on your social media, man, I see you be getting down. You all geared up, man.
Hey, have you fucked up anybody yet with your jiu-jitsu? You
No,
try to get
man.
crazy?
No. Ever since I've started studying martial arts, I haven't had any fights. There's been a couple of opportunities, and it just never happened, you know. So
I think it teaches you self-control more.
Yeah.
right?
yeah, definitely, and even like the willingness to engage sometimes keeps the other person from really wanting it to take it to that level, you know. It's like,
Yeah.
you sure you want to do that?
Do you ever like you know, just like show them, don't fuck with me, but you do like in the movies, you're like, yeah, and then they'll be there like, oh shit, what the
Because
fuck?
Packy would do all that shit. If he knew any kind of martial art, Packy would follow every stereotype of being a martial
Come on,
art.
bro.
He would bust everything he's seen in the old kung fu movies.
I do it.
Nah.
I would definitely do flying crane.
Flying crane.
Never had the opportunity to bust anything crazy like that. But yeah, it's real cool, man. Like it really helps develop character, you know, and like a sense of balance, you know, with yourself and coming into your own manhood and like knowing and being humbled sometimes by people who are a lot smaller. You know, women sometimes that are really good and that'll kick your ass. You're like, damn, I never thought somebody this much smaller and weaker than me would be able to do that to me. But
Now,
shit
is
happens.
jiu-jitsu the one where you use people's strength against them?
It's using leverage, technique, and timing. And it was developed by Helio Gracie in the early 1920s. And he was never a very strong person. They say in his whole life he would never be able to do a pull-up. And so he took out, in Japanese jiu-jitsu, you had to be strong and fast to do it. That was kind of like the prerequisites. And what he did is he took out that concept of being strong and fast and replaced it with leverage and technique so that a much smaller person could beat a much bigger person utilizing those concepts of leverage and technique.
Is it true too? I heard in jiu-jitsu, someone told me more than even also just attack moves. It kind of gives you more like defense moves.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You could basically restrain a person to where they can't do shit anymore. You know, they're just, you know, you got them all held up. You know, with
that's what
arm twisted or whatnot. Like
what I really love about it is it gives you the full spectrum of a combat situation. Like if you only knew boxing, right, and your uncle's getting out of hand all drunk in the family reunion, what are you gonna use in that situation? You can use your boxing. You know what I mean? You're gonna hurt your uncle, right? But jiu-jitsu allows you the full spectrum. So like if I don't want to hurt you, but I just want to control you, you know, or I just want to put you to sleep, but it doesn't hurt, you know, in a nice way.
It doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt.
You know, it gives me the opportunity to do that. Or if I'm in a dark alley and it's like my life is at
in
stake
danger,
here. It's
yeah.
either me or you, and only one of us is walking out of here. You know, then it's gonna be you.
How long you been doing this?
I've been studying jujitsu probably around like 9 years or so. I've been teaching it for about 6-7 years. Yeah.
Tight. So what made you get into it, anyways?
Oh man.
Did you used to get bullied as a kid?
No, nothing like that. As a kid, actually, I grew up with like my sisters, and they were really tough. So you know, there was
To
always
protect
like
yourself from your sisters.
yeah, pretty much. I had three
I know
older.
how to fight now.
I had 3 older sisters, and they were like notorious for being fighters.
Yeah.
You know, for being strong, and wouldn't tolerate their little brother not being just as tough.
Yeah.
So I never had any problems like that growing up. But what it was is I was living with my boy at the time. We were roommates,
Mm-hmm.
and he had all these VHSs of like the early UFCs.
Yeah.
And I had watched like
With all the
religiously.
bikers in the back in the
Oh,
crowd
like,
and
yeah,
shit. and it was like
everybody,
a chain
you know?
link fence and shit.
I went through these series of videos religiously, and there was this little guy named Hoist Gracie, and he was fucking everybody up, and I was like, wow, that's amazing, and I always wanted to do that or learn it, but when I looked into it, you know, jiu-jitsu is like $150 a month, $200 a month to go train. It's really expensive, so it wasn't anything that I could afford to do. So what I did is I would go on the internet and look up instructional videos. And
Yeah.
I combed over like hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of hours
So
of
you're
instructional
self-taught?
video.
You think?
In a way, yeah. So I kind of taught myself.
So you don't really have a seafood. Right?
No. Eventually, I felt comfortable enough to like, you know what? Let me show my son some of these things that I know, and was playing with jiu-jitsu with him, and he started getting good. And eventually, some of our friends, Lo and Taways, and another friend of mine, Lucas, kind of seeing how good he was getting, was like, "Hey, can you show that to my daughter? Can you show that to my sons?"
Mm-hmm.
And it started with that. Like I had five kids in my living room, and I was showing them jujitsu, and that basically like sprung what is now the Warriors Jiu-Jitsu program.
Nice.
Starts in my living room with these 5 kids that I was training. Eventually, I was probably training for about like 3 years like that, teaching, showing what I knew, and it grew into like having adult program, you know, women's program at first, and then and eventually I got to the point where I had to get a little more serious about it, and go through the process of getting ranked, you know, within jiu-jitsu, and go through the belt system and do it legitly. So then I went into an academy and started training like under an actual like academy, under the Hinzo Gracie lineage.
Nice. Now we're gonna get into some of your music, right? Do you have music for us to play?
Yeah.
Do you is it on SoundCloud or is it?
It's on my phone. I can, or we can do some of that
that. Hold
SoundCloud
on.
shit.
Oh, you got an AUX?
Yeah, I got it.
All right. Okay, now AGOP. He was kind of telling me the history about AGOP, about how you guys got started, and with you know, Post-Tone, rest in peace. How
Post-Tone is the illest.
And then how he connected with EQ, and then you know that's how RTD started, and I was like, what? Oh, he was giving me some history. And shit. I was like, oh, what?
Yeah, that's what, you know what, before we were walking in here, it's like, man, I really appreciate, you know, having the opportunity to tell the story, you know, because I think it's, you know, it's speaking to the spirit of Post-Tone and some of the things that he did. You know, it's like I never got the opportunity to kind of document some of these things. So having this opportunity, you know, I really appreciate it.
Oh, man, for sure, man.
We appreciate you coming through and sharing some of that, you know, story about Post-Tone. I knew Post-Tone personally, you know what I mean? Cool. And I got to know him, and he was a real humble cat, dude. Cool as fuck, dude. When that happened and I found out what happened, oh, bro, that shit was just hard.
Yeah.
Like, damn. He was a dope MC. Dope
MC, dope producer.
Yep.
Just
the
a dope
beats was
homie.
the illest, man.
He hooked me up with a beat one time, long time ago, and I think we used it on a Section 9 track, or it might have been on my first solo album ever.
Yeah.
But he hooked me up with a beat one time. I was like, what?
The funny thing is too, even like before Packing Ganja, we started doing the Parapost Funk. thing
I
because
remember
we
that
had
project.
we just kind of collaborated. I collaborated for something for his project. I was like, oh, why don't you get something for? At the time we were working on the Transit project, but I don't know if Rock just didn't make it through that day, or we just kept writing and let's do the third verse now, and then before you knew, we just were just writing cuts, and we're like, why don't we do? We never did get to drop the Parapost Funk album, and we probably only completed like not even really necessarily completed them, but at least formatted up. Maybe about like 4 good, really cool songs. But we used to rock them. We started booking shows.
I remember that.
Remember we used to rock them. And
So you think there should be a possibility for those to be released soon, somewhere down the line?
if
get 'em?
they could be recovered, I'd be down. I mean, some of them the recordings were really rough draft, like you know what I mean. But yeah, because the thing is, I think the version I had at some point, I only had I tried looking everywhere for like all my stacks of CDs I have in my room. I tried scrolling through everything. The only thing I have is 2 cuts I found. I have one was dropped on the mixtape I did with DJ Liquid. It was called
Shout out
Priceless. Priceless. And then there was another song, Call of the Wild. I was able to recover that. And I think he might have put it on one of his EPs. I can't remember. It was so long ago. But and then there was probably another good 2 or 3 other songs though. Like this is one that we used to love rock called "Dirty Old Shoes," where we sampled I don't know if you remember that one New Shoes song. It was the I Can't Wait. A classic '80s joint. So we I heard the track, and he was like, "Oh," where I took it to him, like, "Yo, we need to chop this track up." So he's like, all right. So we started playing with it, and we made a beat out of it. So
Post was brilliant at those kind of scenarios where you're like, yo, I got a little idea about this, and you might have like a snippet of the idea, and he would just take it and turn it into like this beautiful manifestation of a beat, and be exactly what you wanted it to be. He was like super on point with that.
So what's the first track we're gonna get into?
Well, let me lay down a little foundation for this, if you don't mind.
Go for it.
Bro. Go for it.
We
need to switch your chairs, man. I'm sorry. Way too much goddamn noise.
That's what it was. I was like, what the fuck is that noise? Shit. Someone's getting the groove on.
Oh, I thought that was
boinking going on.
may have been my scratching. At first.
How AGOP started. Well, first of all, AGOP is an acronym for the Armed Guardians of the Proletariat. When I got out of YA in 2003, I had made the transition to being a little bit more serious about making music and writing. Before, like in high school, I was just kind of playing with it. We would like kind of Weird Al it. Just write funny little lyrics using other people's melodies and stuff.
Like a parody.
Writing, parodying everything, and just trying to be funny. And so when I got out, I was a lot more serious about like I had all this shit that I had wrote while I was there. And so my homie Chris, he was like, "Hey man, I got this boy. He makes beats. I gotta introduce you to him. And it turns out that in high school, we kind of knew the same people. We were around the same area, but we never really met each other.
Yeah.
He kind of like, he knew who I was, and like kind of like, oh, what's up from afar, But I didn't really interact with him too much. And we finally met, and he was like, yo, this is my boy Post. This is X. I think you guys will gel really well with each other. And he was like, all right, yeah, man. Like, I make beats and I kick rhymes. And, at the time, while I was busted, they had taken what we were doing in the park kind of to the next level. And because Post had beats, so people were ciphering in the park. And it became like a local thing. And it was called the Linguistic Harvest.
Okay.
And
I remember that.
It was at Alhambra Park. And so he was like, yeah, man, like, I've been doing this thing with the Linguistic Harvest, so, let me hear your rhymes. And I started kicking some rhymes for him or whatever. And no, at first he was like, what do you rhyme about? I remember that was the first thing he had asked me. He was like, what do you rhyme about? And I was like, man, like, I rhyme about the struggle, I rhyme about revolution. I rhyme about, the people. And he was like, oh, okay, well, kick some rhymes then. And so, I start rhyming or whatever. And he was like, oh, man, that's pretty fresh, man. I gotta get you to come down into my spot and show you some of my beats. And so maybe a couple months go by, it just doesn't happen or whatever. We didn't link up. And then I seen him kind of like on Main Street in Alhambra, just out of nowhere, like, oh, what's up, man? What's up? He's like, hey, I'm headed back to my house. You want to go check out those beats? So I'm like, yeah, fuck it. You know,
let's go. Fuck, I'm down.
Let's go. So jump on the quarter bus, make my way over to Post's house, and he threw on a beat. And the beat that he threw on was To Mourn the Living.
Uh-huh. Oh, okay, yeah.
Right? That was the first song that we had ever wrote together.
And that was the first beat he ever
Yeah,
showed you.
yeah. The first beat he ever kicked my way was this. Actually, I got it down here if we want to just play the beat.
Yeah.
But yeah, let me see if I can pull that up. Was this beat right here? Let's see. This was the beginning.
A little lesson in history. Huh?
Yeah. This was the beginning of
lesson,
AGOP,
everybody. So I hope you're paying attention because there's some knowledge right here for y'all.
Rest in peace, Post Tone,
Rest
man.
in
So
peace,
this was
bro.
the
Rest in
first-
bars, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Damn, man. Life is crazy.
I remember this cut.
I've seen this before in that Urban. You guys performed
Yeah,
this at the Urban Underground, right?
Yeah, a bunch of times.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Fuck,
Yeah.
man.
This is the beginning of AGOP right here. This beat right here. And I'm gonna let that ride a little bit.
Ooh.
So he was like, well, what you want to rhyme about? And like we were talking a little earlier about the conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
You know, and so I was like super deep in the conspiracy theory. And I started rhyming about like the Skull and Bones and secret societies and the Illuminati. And that kind of became like from then on, like the vision of what AGOP would sound like.
Yeah.
And it was like something a little different than a lot of the things that were going around at the time. You know, I think Post brought a real uniqueness, you know.
Yes, sir.
As far as MCing was concerned. And yeah, we wrote that song, and he was like, man, he was always looking for somebody that was as serious about music as he was. You know, so right away we were like, man, you know, we
Just
clicked.
Yeah.
Boom.
Clicked. And after that, we would have these, you know, these ciphers in his room and just throwing around ideas for songs and cuts. And he would be like, I'd have an idea, he'd know the hip-hop cut. He was like an encyclopedia of hip-hop.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
how
he
I
can-
see him
he can-
sometimes.
He can hear something or like a word that you said and find like the old school, you know, Big Daddy Kane saying that word or saying that
Yeah.
same phrase and would mix it into the music.
You know, and that's where me and him actually started to click off because we were both like early mid '90s hip hop junkies onto that era. So a lot of times, sometimes we'll be at his crib, we'd record, but sometimes we'd even just be there chilling for hours, just YouTubing old school classic videos and everything. So it's oh, you remember this song? You remember sometimes bringing my memory back to stuff.
Yep,
Oh
yep.
shit, I remember that video. I remember that on the box and Matt from Madcap, and I'm playing him Fosa. He playing me all the, you know, we're just trading off all these old school artists and stuff. You know what I mean? That, you know, only the heads will know about. Like, and yeah.
So
was real dope.
it was a trip, man, going from that and then like working with him like religiously. You know, Post Tone was like you had to have it down, dog. You know, like before we went out and started performing, like I would go over his pad and we would go through the set like maybe like 5-6 times. And if there was a slight fuck up at any point, at any song, we would like do it from the beginning. Do it from the beginning. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it had to be perfect.
course.
So how you heard it was how we performed it. You know what I mean? And like Post was sick. Like in the early days, he would be like scratching some shit up. You know what I mean? He would be jumping off on the CD turntables and shit, jumping off that to like a rhyming and then jumping back and like doing this back and forth with the DJing and the rhyming.
Nice.
And yeah, it was really dope, but he kind of got tired of it after.
Yeah.
And that's where people like EQ kind of come around. But
Yeah.
when we got serious about it, we had around that same time, we linked up with the Eastside Cafe.
I remember
I
that.
remember Eastside Cafe.
We
too.
just so happened to be like right next to the Eastside Cafe is a liquor store, and we were trying to go get some like 40s and cigarettes and shit. And we're walking by, and Post is like, yo, I think I've seen them do like a punk show right here. I think they do like events and shit, and we're just kind of peeping it out. And they were having like an English class, like an English, Spanish to English learning class.
Yeah.
And the Roberto, one of the founders of the Eastside Cafe,
I remember him.
Walks out and he's like, hey guys, can I help you guys out? And Post asks him like, yo, you guys do shows? And they're like, you know what, we'd be really interested in have people like running an open mic. And Post was like, yo, I know MCs, I know people, I do music, that would be dope. Like, let me run the open mic. And they were like, yeah, come talk to us, come talk to the board, and make a proposal to us, and then we'll decide on it. And if we decide you're the one to do it, then you'll go.
Nice.
And you know what the funny thing is what's it called? And actually, we found out about this because at the time I was going to Pasadena City College, and I was part of the Mecha organization out there. Shouts out Mecha PCC. And before, maybe a couple of months earlier, we had did a benefit show for the Eastside Cafe. And your best homie is the one that knew about the Eastside Cafe, You're
talking about the one dude that almost got
yeah.
their head crushed in?
Yeah. But however it is.
Does he know him?
I don't know. Did you ever remember a dude named Emilio? Shit, I'm gonna put it on this.
Emilio! And I was like, Emilio!
But however it is, I don't think he was like an MC or anything, but he was like, but he was a graph writer. And at the time, we were both involved with Metchan, so he connected with Eastside Cafe, and we did a benefit show for them. And then a couple months later, I guess he was the one that found out about the open mic, and he told me, Lo, and a couple of other Metro PCC heads. When that first open mic, or when we found out about it, we rolled down and.
No, that was the first open mic.
Oh, okay. When we met you.
Yeah. So when I met Paragon, was the beginning of taking what we were doing in the park as a linguistic harvest into like an actual space.
Okay.
And then we ran that bi-weekly open mic for 3 years. So me and Post would put on shows. And like have headliners come down, and it would like have the first hour be open to the community. Anybody could come do their thing, and then the last hour we'd have like acts. People come down and actually do sets.
No, what was the cafe at? What city?
It's in El Sereno. It's located right there off of Huntington and Maycrest. It's a little plaza in North Huntington.
Yeah.
And I think it was a real important moment in the history of that little area, the Northeast.
Yeah.
Because it really gave people the opportunity to like get that stage time in, you know what I mean, and get that rocking in front of a crowd and get that rust
and
off of you if you haven't been doing it for a while, and a lot of people utilize that space to like, you know what I mean, build the foundation for what they would do later, and I don't think Post gets enough credit for laying that foundation for a lot of people.
Oh yeah, not at all. Yeah, he was definitely a big part of that. Like even like when people, like I said, and shouts out to EQ and all that. But like I mean, if you really know about artists like EQ and stuff, you'll remember when he was RTD. And if you really know about RTD, you'll remember before that EQ even joined AGOT.
Yeah.
He was telling me about that.
Yeah. So we were looking for. Post was sick of working the tables and trying to work the mic and just wanted to work the mic. And at the same time, we had linked up with the Living Mechanism crew from Las Vegas. And they really liked what we were doing. And we kind of linked up with them and started doing a project with them. And I think the Ancient Heretic was clicked up with EQ and brought him around. And, we started working with him on the QMX project, and eventually we pulled him over and it's like, yo, UMC too, so like let's get rocking.
Real quick, El Fumigado says he wants to learn how to do jiu-jitsu.
Nice.
Tell him to come to my spot.
I just got a text from him right now. I didn't mean to cut you off, bro. I looked at it and I just laughed and shit. He says, I want to take jiu-jitsu. Ha 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 ha.
Tell him tomorrow.
What's up with him? When he's gonna come check out the new studio?
Hey, he's watching right now, so
Man.
Hey, fool, call Dre.
Yeah,
call
get your ass down here.
Get your ass down here, man. Stop making fucking excuses.
Yeah.
Fumigado.
Yeah.
You haven't even been to the new fucking spot, bro.
I'll teach you jiu-jitsu. I'm gonna turn you inside out, bro.
Oh, shit.
Nah, I'm just kidding. I don't know any
I don't know jiu-jitsu, but I know judo.
You don't know?
Judo don't have a knife. Judo don't have a gun. Judo know nothing.
That's the Mexican judo, right?
Yeah, the Mexican judo.
What about crazy? Remember, I don't know karate, but I know crazy. Remember?
I know crazy. Yeah,
No crazy.
and you know, and the funny thing, I probably should have said that because Bonnie and Clyde thing was me and my wife's one of our
Halloween?
first dance songs.
Oh, shit, what
at our wedding was Bonnie and Clyde thing.
Nice.
Yeah, so that was
That's
the hip hop
gangster.
one.
That's gangster.
So you do teach adults, right? Jiu-jitsu, or is it just kids?
No. We teach adults. We have Mondays. We teach a kids class, adult class. Tuesdays is a kids class, a teens class, adult class. Wednesdays is a kids class, a teens class Muay Thai, and adult class Muay Thai.
Well, and for
What
me,
city? What city is it?
And this is in El Sereno at the Eastside Cafe.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, so there you go. So
Nice.
So that,
Now,
that
but
that's
if-
it's a cool story of what recently even went down with the Eastside Cafe. If you guys ain't aware about it, it's like last summer, the owner of the entire corner, so it's like maybe about 6-7 little mom and pop shops. The owner of the whole little plaza wanted to sell it, and there was a Asian developer that was interested in buying it. And so he came down and was checking out the space and got confronted by members of the Eastside Cafe, and they told him, like, gentrification is a problem in our community right now, and that they had always wanted to own the space, own the space that they organize out of. And so, the Eastside Cafe is an autonomous space. It doesn't take grants or anything like that. It's open purely off of the donations that the community makes based on the programming that they do. So they have English classes, they have son jarocho classes, they have poetry classes, they got jiu-jitsu classes. We run a lot of community programming, and based out of all of that, we take in whatever people can donate and keep the space alive. That's how it gets down right there.
Yeah.
It's a real Zapatista autonomous ran space, and so they always wanted to own the space,
And this is the same spot where we were.
yeah, the same exact space.
Yeah.
So, the investor said, you know what, I don't want to be the reason why a good space like this gets ran out of the community. So if you guys can put a bona fide offer within the next 10 days, and then I'll back out. And so the Eastside Cafe went into crazy mode,
I remember that.
organizing mode, and put the message out, and some people that actually value the space and the community really came together and put up the money, so that
Oh,
the Eastside
shit.
Cafe is now like,
It's still running.
yeah,
it's still
yeah,
going.
they own it.
Landmark.
They own it. They bought it.
Or anything like
You know
that.
what I mean?
That's
Those
dope.
seven.
They
those
bought the
seven-
whole corner,
Yeah,
huh?
they bought the whole corner.
Oh,
You know what I
nice.
mean? So
Nice.
the corner of
Fuck yeah.
Maycrest and Huntington belongs to the people now.
oh,
you know,
nice.
and it's held in trust, by the Eastside Cafe.
That's what's up.
So
Yes.
it's the first example of a space like that, a community space getting threatened by gentrification.
That's
And-
just happening
and-
everywhere.
Yeah, and they actually win. And
Yeah.
that not to say that like the battle is won completely, but this is a
step.
good example, because before that nobody had ever gentrification won every single time.
Yeah.
I personally don't know of an example of a people being able to hold out against big time development. The South Central Farm,
Yeah.
big time development, one way or another is gonna prevail. And this is the first instance of like the community coming together
And
to make sure,
resisting
and resisting and
yeah.
making sure
Keeping
that,
it in the community.
exactly.
That's what's
And
up.
so that story right there is a beautiful story of a space that did a lot of work for a lot of us. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It was a place of expression, a place of organizing, of resistance. And so, the community now keeps, the right to have a space like that because they got involved.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I see a good screenplay out of this somehow. I don't know.
That'd be dope.
Make it into
If there's
a
any
TV
writers
show.
out there, hit us up.
Hey,
You know?
hey, if we pitch it to Netflix, we'll get a straight to season.
Yeah, I don't know why nobody's made a documentary on that.
You know what the
Is
funny
there,
thing is? I actually once back in the day, I swear to God, like when we were first starting, you guys were doing the linguistic harvest. Went from the open mic to then we started even having just actual shows with art. Where we all had sets. I was kind of thinking about, because at the time I think this is even before the Good Life documentary was out, but there was I think there was a Project Blowed documentary that came with, I think, a Project Blowed anniversary CD. So you bought the CD, you got the DVD, which was a quick documentary on Project Blowed, and I was thinking like, wow, I think late at the time we were barely starting all this, so I was thinking like, man, I could see maybe in the future, this could be like our blow, like where we talk about how, we were all residents, from AGOP to me and Rock with the transit. You had Earthstones, you know what I mean? Heart Minds.
Divine Daughters were part of
the Divine Daughters wasn't around yet. They were more Urban Underground.
Living
Mechanism. When I met them. Living Mechanism. But you know what I mean? There's just a lot of people that we brought through, like J-Roz rolled through, I think.
Tumex rolled
through.
Cinco rolled through.
Cinco.
So, yeah.
I found out a crazy story about Cinco.
There's a lot of crazy stuff.
I heard that he ran into one of the homies at the Playboy Mansion one time.
It doesn't surprise me.
I didn't know about that story.
I'm not going to go into full details, you know what I mean?
Please do.
Apparently, one homie was at the Playboy Mansion and that he was walking, and then all of a sudden, like, what the hell are you doing here? What are you doing here? Oh shit! What's up? What the?
Damn.
Didn't that person say that story on here?
Yes.
It happens.
Oh, so why are you scared to say the name?
No, I mean, I don't want to say any information as far as.
Was it somebody that was on the show recently?
Yeah.
Like on a day maybe where I didn't make it?
Yeah.
Okay, I know.
Did that person?
Does he perform with a mask?
Forget their keys?
I don't know what you're talking about. But yeah, man, that's awesome, bro.
So
like,
in a lot of ways, I feel like kind of like how, how you seen it, like for the East, you know what I mean? For the East, that was like, kind of like our little good life, It was like the East Side, and like he was saying, like a lot of people, kind of hone their craft. Out of that space, going there every other week.
I remember even there was these kids must have been about like maybe 13, 14. They used to come every week, and we kind of like try to train them. I remember
they would do like some real jiggy shit.
Kind of, or they just kind of like joke around. They were young, so they really didn't know what they're doing. They're kind of like, they weren't really on with their freestyles, so I would tell them about like writing. But I remember they used to come through for a while. Like, then I don't know, after a while, I didn't see them come through anymore. But I was always like, damn, I wonder whatever happened to those kids. That'd be dope if I found out they're actually out there doing
music.
Yeah, with the younger generation that's doing it now.
What's information and shit, man?
Because those kids probably got to be about in their maybe even late 20s now, shit, at this point, because that was a while ago. It's hard to believe that was probably, even almost over 10 years ago or something?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, I'm going to take the hit on that. I hit that completely by accident. I was fucking hitting this chord right here because it was my way, and I hit the sample.
Don't lie.
I swear to God.
That's too much information, huh?
Yeah, but I was like, damn, he was telling a sweet story. I should have said
All right, y'all. I would like to thank our guests, Exposed, for coming through. Thank you very much for all the stories, the history lesson and everything. We're going to take a quick intermission break. We're going to let B-Side do his thing. And then after that, we're going to come back and have some more fun and close it out with some freestyles. See if we're done with some freestyles, bro. You done with some freestyles? After later?
Yeah, we'll see what's up.
All right. B-Side, do your thing, bro.
would roll it up, I would light it up, and I would pass it around. If I had joints, blunts, and a bomb, any which way I can never go wrong. Right rhyme for me. You know what time it is. I'm down with the PHAR side. Can you? I never hide my feelings. I got the microphone. I have the yearning for the burn you back the way, the way, the way. 'Cause I don't even understand what you got to say. The way. Nah, this is real though. I don't understand. Days are getting longer. Yeah, no more than 8 out of 10. No more bitches, no more
So yeah, bro. I mean, if you want any, oh my
Penis.
bad.
Hey man, when I die, I want you guys to smoke my flesh.
I told you, B-side said I was gonna.
Smoke my
Yesterday,
flesh.
B-side said I was gonna die before you.
Oh yeah, dude, hey, dude. Yesterday we were having a scratch session.
Yeah.
And then I told B-side and Paragon, hey man, when I die, I want you guys to come dressed as Harry Potter characters at my funeral. and then B-side goes, dude, honestly, what did I think Paragon's gonna die first.
No, he said, how you know you're gonna die first? Because I'm looking at Paragon over here, and then like you just stopped on the bed. What the hell? Like, why am I dying all of a sudden?
That's fucked up, bro.
No, I didn't mean that Paragon's gonna die soon. I'm just saying that anything could happen. So you know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, of course.
Don't make
It's
plans for
murder.
that. So,
I'm
It's
just
more
saying
likely to
that-
happen to Paragon.
Huh?
It's more likely to happen to
I
Paragon.
guess so, man. I guess I'm the
I can see
target.
it.
I'm just
Paragon is
saying.
a shit magnet.
You know, I'm. You know what it is I'm the darkest one, so I guess I'm the biggest target when I leave and
When the police
LAPD,
come around,
Yeah, when
yeah.
the police come around. And
That's true.
Well, I'm
Maybe
glad you're
that's-
getting beat for all of us, bro.
Yeah, there we
Thank
go.
you.
I'm
you,
just
Paragon.
saying that when I die, and if any of you are still alive, I want you to get dressed as Harry Potter characters,
Okay.
and then have a wizard fight.
A wizard fight.
Yeah.
I've never seen a Harry Potter movie though, so I
Don't
wouldn't.
look
the
that
fuck?
up. Don't look that up on Pornhub. It's something completely different.
I don't know how you came across that, bro.
I was searching for it.
You would.
I've never
like
seen
how
a
nobody
Harry
laughed.
Potter.
Were you searching for sword fights?
I like how nobody laughed at that when I said that. Everybody's like, "You, I probably believe it. You look like."
Oh, I believe there's a porno for it. You know what I mean? Because they make porns on everything. I remember when they made the Forest Hump, and they made a Booty and the Beast.
Oh, I like
and-
the not the Brady's.
Mrs. Assfire.
Yeah, I remember all that. And that was on Married with Children, in fact.
Right on.
Oh man. Now we have a treat. We have a treat. Somebody said that they were gonna do a track for us. A live track.
All right.
Yeah, just kind of a little throwback, you know,
He's-
because we were reminiscing about the beginning of AGOP and all that, you know.
What started it off?
Yeah, what started it off, and so.
And so exposed. So you know what, Packy? I'm gonna hook you up, bro. I'm gonna do this live. I'm like, what? Fuck yeah! Hell yeah!
This is for the homies right here. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
I'm going to take it
Hold
in
on,
old
hold on.
school.
Let me have that RCA plug back because I disconnected it.
There you go.
Oh no, not that end. The other end. But,
Not that in.
Oh,
Not
this
that in.
I have another end.
yeah. Down the floor. This is how we do it on the package.
Get off the. There we
There
go.
we go. Here you go, bro.
Damn, Paragon.
There you go.
You know, when it comes to technology, that's when I tend to grunt. Like, you know, I bring my
Fucking ape.
old...
He makes
yeah,
dad
like,
noises.
Whatever happened to the old school classic man that used to grunt about things?
I don't know, but B-side, that blunt doesn't belong there. It belongs in rotation.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like, where the fuck is the blunt?
Thought my lips were missing
And
something.
I'm like, shit. Paragon finally has a
All
blunt.
right.
Let me see.
Now, special treat to all the listeners. Not for
Before
Migado.
you go on.
For Migado's being a bitch because he don't want to come visit. Exposed. Ain't got, baby.
Yeah. That could only mean one thing. It's about to go down. Yo, expose one of the almighty Armageddon. Peace to Post Tone. Hey, cop. We go like this. You must have forgot yet a mind of your own as the truth unfolds. And who knows a Bohemia Grove in the order of Skull and Bones. As the truth unfolds, who knows? From the compartmentalized pyramid to the Yale tomb, you're not informed of, kid. The Bush family, Illuminati tree, CIA drug trafficking, walking dead in disbelief, not in the realization of reality. The realm of Satanism is all around me like the Statue of Liberty. No, it doesn't represent us. It's that bitch Queen Semiramis, part of the Babylonian Trinity, who said she stood for liberty. That's a New World Order conspiracy. Armed guardian set for your mentality. Long live a socialist economy. Skulls and bones don't stand for democracy. Bush for corporate, fucking bourgeoisie. I'm gonna tell you like we said on the DNC. No, motherfucker, you don't represent me. What you didn't think we'd see? That there's District of Columbus pentagrams in the streets. So now I'm on the living, the Skull and Bones. It's Skull and Bones. Post Tone said, I'm not an illumin, but I see the light at the end of the tunnel. The New World Order's closing in, there's nowhere to run to. Your favorite politicians are committing acts that I can't condone, like holding Wednesday, Thursday night dinners under skulls and bones and worshipping great architects, and still in church they genuflect, while behind closed doors they wear pentagrams around their neck. They lie to us, give us false idols with gods to trust. You must be joking, I ain't gonna pay homage to Osiris. Voting in elections fixed by men who practice devil worship. Representative democracy, indeed, take your pick. The president, nothing more but an elegant deception, and the media is used to obscure the populace perception. I ask for a new beginning, yet don't understand why I'm on the living. Maybe it's because false hope is what they're giving. It's plain to see, look on the back of your dollar. One world everything, they've silenced the voices that used to sing let freedom ring, and slaves to the dominion. That's why we mourn the living. We're trying to save the children from the corruption of the system. It's plain to see, look on the back of your dollar. One world everything. Fuck the Illuminati, like De La Soul, I'm educating your brainwashed followers. You find this pill hard to swallow, then get a glass of water. But beware of fluoride, cause the water in the phone is tapped. And once you get a neurological disease, there ain't no going back. Did you know that? Most these globalists are murderous. They wish to decimate the human race, then turn the rest of slaves. The Scottish Reich isn't right, why aren't you against it? Get out of denial, do something to prevent it. Play a game of connect the dot from terrorist to terrorist, exchanging freedom for security. Don't be so careless. You mean to tell me you forgot about 1985? Bush and Bin Laden were cold kicking it live. Mean to tell me you forgot about 1985? Bush and Bin Laden cold kicking it live. They were snorting coke, smoking opium, and kicking it live. Yeah, that was the beginning of the armed guardians of the proletariat. Peace to Post Tone, the Dynamunk, the illest to ever breathe. Straight up.
Yeah, rest in peace, Post Tone. You know he definitely
Rest
he
in
definitely
peace, bro.
smiling down on the clouds with
Yes,
that one
sir.
right there, man.
Hey, Poston was up there watching you right now. He's watching this. He's smiling, like you said. Like, yeah, keeping the spirit alive.
I hope so. I hope I made him proud with that one.
I'm
Yeah,
pretty
you
sure
know
you
you
did,
did,
bro.
man.
I'm pretty sure you
Definitely,
did,
definitely.
man. Hell yeah.
And what was the name of that song again?
That's To Mourn the Living.
To Mourn the Living.
Which was the first song on the very first album, 33 and the Third Degree Illuminati. So that's why when we were talking about a little earlier about the flat earthers, when they're like, oh, you gotta look it up, and you know, it's like, bro, I've been researching this Illuminati shit for a long time,
Yeah,
dog.
blame
You know,
it on
like
the
15, 20
Illuminati,
years.
all
you
that
know?
shit.
And I can tell you that your flat earth is bullshit.
And
Yeah, that's
I
what I'm
agree.
hearing, that other conspiracy theorists are mad at flat earthers because they're trying to lump the two together, or other people, You know what I mean? Or even
Into
when
one
like
big-
Taco Bell makes these commercials with the Illuminati in it, it's almost like they're poking fun.
But here's my issue with all the conspiracy theories. It seems to me that it's like there's a little bit of truth surrounded by a lot of bullshit. You know, so there's like a lot of bullshit you got to navigate to get a little bit of truth. You know, if you're gonna look up a conspiracy theorist, the best person to look up is brother Steve Coakley.
Oh, I heard of Coakley.
Steve Coakley, yeah, Steve Coakley's hard, man. Steve Coakley is the man, you know, the most researched in terms of conspiracy theory than anybody else out there. He was the one that would name the names. You know, he was big on naming the names. Like, we're not gonna say it's the capitalist, or it's the it's the Illuminati, or it's the Masons,
and this person.
Exactly, we're gonna name exactly who are their names.
Yeah.
And
who's this guy again?
Steve Coakley.
Steve Coakley.
Yeah. You look up anything Steve Coakley. I'm a big Coakley.
That's kind of how I felt about conspiracy theories too. Is that I started off watching like Zeitgeist movie and shit like that, and then I was like, all right, and then all of a sudden, you know, I'm digging through all these videos, but then, you know, I kind of take a bird's eye view at everything, and you're like, okay, wait, well, this, as time passed, maybe, you know what I mean? Okay, I could pick and choose now, like.
And Coakley was the only one that had like a white supremacy analysis to the concept of like the Illuminati, so to speak, and all of these secret societies. You know, he would be the one to put it in context as to like. You know, the different race relations that we have, and like who's in control and why is it in control and why do these things exist. Yeah, he would really pull it down. Speaking of Steve Coakley, just to kind of put it out there to the audience or whatever, is like anytime I get the opportunity to kind of do things like this, I like to present some of these principles. And one of the things that he would put forward, and I take to heart, is this concept of pawns linked together. Coakley says that the revolution unfolds very much like a chess match. You know, sometimes we do the right thing at the wrong time and we don't get the right result. You know what I mean? He said in the beginning of the revolution is the open game, there's a middle game, and there's an end game. You know, in the open game, it's important that the pawns link themselves together. You know, in chess, you know, as soon as you open up, you strategically link your pawns on the battlefield in a way that if somebody takes a pawn, you take them, right? And he says that's what the little guy got to do. You know what I mean? We got to link ourselves together. The Eastside Cafe and the Warriors Jiu-Jitsu program, the Paki and Ganja show. You know what I'm saying? The rack, you know, the ovarian cycles. It's important that the people link themselves to these organizations that are doing good work. You know what I mean? And so if they're ever attacked, you know, we come together as a people and support them. And he says in the middle game, you know, we trade in the leadership. You know, so these Antonio Viragosas, these sellout politicians, you know what I mean? We're going to trade these fools. They're not on our side anyway. We're going to give them up.
Bye, Felicia.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Bye-bye.
You know, and that's what you do in chess. You know, you start trading your pieces away.
Bye, Felicia.
My rook for your rook. My queen for your queen. You know, my bishop for your bishop.
Yes,
You know, trade these fools away.
Yes, sir.
And then in the end game, what happens is those pawns that you strategically link them together could make their way to across the battlefield and become the rooks and bishops and kings and queens in place of them. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And he says that's how the revolution unfolds. You know,
Message.
like we gotta use the proper strategy for the proper time. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
A lot of the times previously, like in the '60s, these things weren't really like, as well understood. And a lot of people went out with their guns and did a bunch of crazy shit. You know, like people like Asada and a lot of other people that we idolize and we love them for their struggle. You know, but it didn't produce the proper turnout because they were doing the right thing at the wrong time and didn't get the right result. So pawns link themselves together.
I agree.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
agree. All right, we're coming close to the end. Actually, we got a few seconds. I want to thank our guests once again. Exposed, thank you very much for coming through.
Definitely, thank you guys.
Thank you once again for sharing some of that history that I had no idea, and I learned something new.
I just had fun reminiscing with them on
Yes,
it, you know,
sir.
especially when you told me we talked about them old Eastside Cafe days and everything. So you took me on memory lanes today, man.
Now,
So-
if people like like a Fumigado wants to know how to do jiu-jitsu, where can they get a hold of you, bro?
All right, so Warriors Community Self Defense on Instagram or on Facebook. That's Warriors Community Self Defense, and we're located right there at the Eastside Cafe on Huntington and Maycrest in the city of El Sereno. We have classes for kids. We got classes for adults. We got classes for teenagers. So yeah, bring the whole family down. It's a real cool environment. So get plugged in, learn some self-defense, learn how to protect yourself, your family, and it's an extension of your family, your community, and we'll make a safer community that way.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And just show support, man. It's a beautiful spot. Like I said, it gave people like myself a beginning, kind of. You know, I mean, I did shows before that, but it was probably one of my first residencies. Actually, ever, because I was definitely, before I was ever a resident at the Urban Underground, I was like a resident at the Eastside Cafe.
Okay.
So, you know, definitely it's a beautiful spot, and definitely support, you know, not even if you're just, I mean, yeah, if you're on the east side, it's definitely a beautiful thing, but like even if you're from outside, it's definitely a beautiful spot. I suggest anybody come see. Yeah.
All right, y'all. I would like to thank everybody for tuning in.
Yeah, thank you.
I am Peggy Chan.
I am Paragon.
DJ B.
Dre Day all day.
Dre Day all day. And we'll see you guys next week. I'm actually going to be in Vegas this Friday. This Sunday to Tuesday. And I will be telling you my Vegas exciting
You know, it's
stories.
supposed to stay in Vegas.
Not me, bro. I don't give a fuck. I'm not going to go out there and like fuck bitches or no. I'm taking. Sorry, ladies. You can't have me. I'm taking. But
no one wanted you.
Whatever.
I know a couple of gay clubs you could clean up at.
Guilty. Fucking Peter. You know Peter?
How do you know about this, Dre?
Oh,
Peter Griffin.
I know people who know people. Come on.
You've been there, huh? And you had those experiences.
I can tell you a funny story, but we're out of time.
Okay, we'll say that. We'll say that for next week. I'm gonna bring it up. You better tell that story. We'll have a whole hour.
All right.
All right, yeah. I'll see you guys next week. I really can't remember who we have next week, but I'll let you guys know on my page. Peace out.
Peace.
Peace.
Peace.